Okay, before I read the values from the files, what I want to say is that this get user details, really all I want to do is get the username, password, and perform a join with it to get this string. I don't really want to write the user file here because I may be using this function to get the user details to see if they exist in the file, in which case I wouldn't want to write them in there. So I'm going to take this line of code out and place it down here for the time being, and I'm just going to return the user. Okay, if only I could spell things, it would be great. Return the user. So I need to do this now. User equals get user details, and then I can choose to write the user to the file if I want. But if I'm just asking them for their username and password to see if they belong to a file, I won't want to write it. So I'm going to comment out that line at the moment. We know it works, so we'll integrate that with our program later. The next thing I want to do is get all the users from the actual file. So I want to use this function here, and I'm going to do it before my while loop. I'm not going to keep asking, not at the moment, because I'm not really going to change the user file, so I'm going to ask for it outside of this loop. So I'm going to put user list equals get words from user file. Let's just copy and paste it a little bit easier. Less chance of making a mistake. Get words from user file. Then we're going to get the user details. And don't forget the user is going to be the joined one. Now, the reason why I've done it this way is because when we read this user file, it's going to be in the same format of a string as this user. So I can directly check to see if the two things are equal. So I'm not going to split it at the moment into username and password. So if the two things don't match, the username and the password don't match, then obviously they can't log on. But if they do match, what I want to do is grab the username from the array. So let's see this working. So I've got my user list there, and I'm going to ask if the user is in that list of files, list of users. So let's see that one work. Let's try this. Save this and run it first. Okay, please enter a username, admin, and let me in. And it's just going to keep asking for a username. That is fine. That's working nicely. Yeah, but it shouldn't be extending my file, which is good. Now I'm going to ask is if it's if the name is in the user list. So if user in user list, then print person exists, otherwise person doesn't exist. So let's try that. So let's go with admin, let me in. Now that should be a value in my file. Person exists. Let's try a different one. Let's try Jill and secret. Now Jill has to have a capital J, and the password needs to be secret. Person exists. Now let's see what happens if I did Jill with a lowercase j and the password secret. The person doesn't exist. There is no Jill in here with a lowercase and password secret. So that's my program working. So we will extend that in the next lesson.